Axel Foley comes back to Beverly Hills to investigate a conspiracy with his old friends John Taggart and Billy Rosewood when his daughter's safety is jeopardized. Get ready to relive the adventure as we recap the story of action and comedy film today. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Production year 2024. The movie begins in Detroit, with Axel Foley driving around the streets in search of troublemakers who are familiar with him but do not show him any respect. Axel later attends a hockey match to join up with his associate, Mike Woody, as he is aware that a gang of robbers is aiming for the Detroit Red Wings. Axel discovers the thieves in the locker room trying to escape with the stolen goods. After entering, he quickly disarms one thief and then proceeds to chase after the rest. Reluctantly bringing Woody along, Axel commandeers a snowplow and pursues the thieves through the streets, causing extensive destruction in an attempt to apprehend them. After tracking the leader to an alley and arresting him, which traumatized Woody, Axel is reprimanded by his longtime friend Deputy Chief Jeffrey Friedman. Jeffrey tells Axel he is retiring and suggests he reach out to his estranged daughter. In Beverly Hills, lawyer Jane Saunders, who is Axel's daughter, meets with potential client Sam Enriquez. Enriquez is facing allegations of murdering an undercover cop, Lieutenant Copeland. Yet he denies any connection to the drug scene even though he was discovered unconscious beside Copeland's lifeless body holding a firearm. He states that someone followed them, shot Copeland, and Enriquez attempted to steer towards the shooters but lost control, hitting a pole before blacking out. Jane asks to provide proof that Copeland could have been associated with criminals at Enriquez's trial. Afterwards, she is trapped in the parking garage by masked criminals who are requesting that Jane let go of the Enriquez case. They attach her car to a truck at the front, shove it off the ledge, and leave Jane feeling scared and hanging. Once Jane has recuperated, she encounters Billy Rosewood, who has become a private investigator since quitting his job in the police department. He advises Jane to let go of the case for her own safety. Billy contacts Axel to inform him that his daughter requires assistance, regardless of her willingness to accept it. Upon ending the call, Billy is spotted at an impound lot attempting to monitor a drop, but the criminals discover him and take him into custody. Axel returns to Beverly Hills when he loses contact with Billy. Upon arriving at Billy's apartment, he discovers three suspicious individuals snooping around. Axel attempts to deceive them by claiming he was sent by their boss, but they find a picture of him and Billy. Axel is forced to use a fire extinguisher to fend off the goons and flee. He then swipes a meter maid's vehicle and is chased through Rodeo Drive. Axel manages to avoid the criminals but ends up causing a car accident and is subsequently arrested. Axel runs into Detective Bobby Abbott at the station and attempts to reach Jane, who keeps disconnecting the call until he mentions Billy. She reluctantly agrees to come and bail him out, and Axel finds out through an awkward interaction that Jane and Bobby used to date. Later, Axel is brought in to meet Chief John Taggart, his old friend, who introduces him to Captain Kate Grant, Taggart's protege. Axel shares his doubts about Grant with Jane, believing that his attire is too lavish for his rank. Jane informs Axel that Billy was spotted at the impound lot where Copeland's car was located. Axel then reveals to Jane that he had to disappear from her life due to being targeted by a dangerous gang, at the insistence of her mother. As they head to the lot to investigate, they manage to gain access and find a hidden surveillance camera without an SD card. They suspect that the missing footage of Copeland's murder is what Billy was searching for. While leaving, Axel notices they are being followed and removes a tracker from Jane's car. Axel and Jane manage to sneak into a social club in order to confront Grant and his thugs. He argues that Copeland was innocent and overlooks his associates' tactics to retrieve the SD card believed to clear Copeland's name. Following their departure, Axel and Jane engage in yet another heated dispute about their relationship, leading Axel to check into a luxury hotel for the night. Axel unexpectedly shows up at Jane's workplace the following day, even though he had led her to believe he was departing using an address provided by Billy. Grant and his henchmen were spotted at this place, and Axel volunteers to keep helping and safeguarding Jane. While on the streets, the pair is attacked by cartel members, but Bobby shows up and assists in eliminating them because he has taken on the investigation. They return to the station, where Axel interrogates Taggart about the possibility of him being involved in illegal activities based on their findings about Grant and his associates. Taggart feels insulted and stands up for himself and Grant. He tells Axel to depart in a rage and puts Bobby on suspension. Currently collaborating, Axel and Bobby team up with Jane at her company to investigate further. They discover that the location noted by Billy is a residence that Grant and his associates have been using for carrying out money laundering operations with cartels. In order to bring them in, Axel enlists Serge, another former friend. He takes the trio to the nearby mansion because they are having an open house. As Jane and Bobby converse with the real estate agent Ashley, Axel attempts to quietly approach the adjacent house. There, he discovers additional proof incriminating Grant. His henchmen are informed about Axel being there and communicate it to Grant, who assures to handle Axel himself. Following a disagreement with Jane, Axel separates from her and talks to Enriquez's uncle, Galino, alongside Bobby. They go to his club and sit with him after offering to get his nephew out of jail. Galino informs the pair that Grant is in cahoots with the cartels, and that Copeland was killed for attempting to turn over a new leaf. He also informs them that a large delivery is arriving at the port later that night. Upon exiting, Grant and his team apprehend Axel and Bobby, setting them up for drug possession charges. Following an unsuccessful interrogation, Axel frees himself from handcuffs and deceives Grant into allowing his escape. He rescues Bobby and reaches the rooftop, where Axel convinces him to pilot the helicopter as he knew Bobby was a pilot. Bobby says he has avoided flying due to a negative past experience, but Axel forces him to fly. Grant and his henchmen pursue Bobby as he maneuvers the helicopter at a low altitude over the streets. They return to the station, but Grant catches up to them and shoots the helicopter's rotor, causing them to crash land at a golf course. They take a cart and return outside. At the same time, Taggart contacts Jane after seeing Grant shoot at Axel and Bobby, and he discovers there is corruption within his department. Axel and Bobby head to the harbor and discover that Billy is being held hostage. Upon spotting them, Billy creates a diversion to allow Axel and Bobby to enter and incapacitate their captors. They take a truck, and Billy informs them that the SD card can be found inside a knife at his apartment. Grant answers Axel's call to inform him that he has Jane hostage and demands the SD card to be brought to a specific location. Axel gets in touch with Jeffrey, who assists in locating Jane's phone at the mansion. Axel attempts to grab the attention of his fellow police officers, but this results in them getting into a chase which ends in a collision between the officers. Axel takes the truck to the mansion, sparking a gunfight with Grant's henchmen. Axel, Bobby, and Billy eliminate the majority of the gunmen before reaching the room where Jane is held captive. Axel enters suddenly, causing Grant to almost shoot Jane, but Axel ends up getting shot in the chest instead. Before Grant can complete the task, Bobby beats him to it by shooting him in the head. Jane quickly makes her way over to where her father is. Outside, Billy and Taggart come together again as Axel is transported to the hospital. Jane visits Axel only to discover that his room is vacant. She assumes she will locate him at a diner close by. Jane informs Axel that the SD card has been submitted and all accusations against Enriquez have been dismissed. The two make amends, and Axel thinks about remaining in Beverly Hills. A few nights later, Billy and Taggart are on a stakeout while Axel is in the back seat. After some pestering, Axel manages to talk the guys into grabbing dinner with him, and showing this story ends here. Thanks for watching.